Hey everyone, it's George on Blockchain DXB and today is the 10th of December 2024 and unfortunately guys, the price of Bitcoin has gone down miserably, but the good thing is that the volume of stablecoins is pumped up, and if you look at the 24-hour trading volume guys, it just be a new all-time high so far as cryptocurrency volume is concerned. So we'll definitely go ahead and take a deep dive when we discuss the global cryptocurrency snapshot. Now in today's episode guys, we do have a really interesting news all the way from El Salvador. Now this part of time guys, I really am not sure if it is a strategic move or is it a setback, because El Salvador guys, they have decided to weaken the Bitcoin law, and this is because of a deal with the IMF, that is International Monetary Fund. Now look guys, at a political level you should understand that any deal with IMF is definitely not good for the nation. So I'll definitely go ahead and discuss more information regarding this news. So it's going to be really interesting to see guys what President Nayib Bukele has to say regarding this. Now ever since BlackRock getting into the Bitcoin game guys, a lot of the companies, they are going ahead and buying Bitcoin and putting it as a strategic reserve in it. And this particular move is led by none other than Michael Saylor from MicroStrategy. And we do have some really interesting development regarding Amazon, and looks like their shareholders are pressuring to put Bitcoin in the company reserve, and the amount that they are talking about is 5%. Now 5% guys is a ridiculously large volume, and look as if Amazon does go ahead and do that, I'm pretty much sure it is going to have a ripple effect on other companies. Now Microsoft, they're on the verge of doing something similar as well. So look, news such as this is definitely bullish for the price of Bitcoin, so it's going to be really interesting times ahead, particularly when you talk about Bitcoin into the balance sheet. And with President Donald Trump getting re-elected, things are definitely looking great so far as the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency is concerned. And along with Amazon guys, one of the mining companies, that is Riot Platform, they are planning to do something similar. And this particular trend of mining companies acquiring more Bitcoin is something that I've been noticing only since the last 2 months, and it is only because of one person, that is Michael Saylor. Now I'm really curious to check guys, if one of the top nations, they go ahead and make an announcement that they're going buying Bitcoin and putting in a strategic reserve, that to be honest guys will definitely skyrocket the price of Bitcoin. Now according to me guys, it'll only make sense if a first world country goes ahead and does that. Now let's say if an underdeveloped nation does it, there will not be much news regarding this, and there is very less chance for the developed countries to go ahead and replicate similar moves in it. But look guys, I'm really curious to check if let's say any of the first world countries go ahead and decided to go ahead and make similar move. Now the final news guys I want to talk about is regarding a meme coin, that is Pepe coin. And here's the interesting thing guys, they have overtaken Uniswap and Litecoin so far as market cap is concerned. Now look guys, so far as meme coins are concerned, there is always a possibility of pump and dump as well. So these are things you definitely need to be aware of. Now regarding meme coins, I cannot stress the importance of community, and the best platform to follow any updates is Twitter or X. So what I'd really recommend you to do is guys, go ahead and follow some of these accounts via Twitter or X. So quite a lot to cover guys in today's episode, and like we do in every Crypto and Coffee at 8 series, we will be looking at 2 news from Dubai, UAE and the Middle East. And the first news guys is definitely a brilliant one, and BitOasis, which is one of the oldest cryptocurrency exchanges from Dubai, they have received full crypto license from Dubai's VARA, that is Virtual Asset Regulatory Authority. So I'll definitely go ahead and give out more information regarding this. Now the second news guys is connected to artificial intelligence, and the UAE's AI office, they have partnered with UiPath, and they want to further key national AI strategic objectives. So I'll definitely go ahead and share more information regarding this. So quite a lot of cover guys in today's episode. Let's kickstart with it right away. Thank you to our sponsors for being part of the Blockchain DXB journey. Firstly, Advanced Media. Advanced Media guys is the largest distributor of professional video, photo, broadcast and cinematic equipment and accessories in the Middle East and MENA region. With over 2 decades of experience, Advanced Media is now the largest distributor in the Middle East, representing more than 100 recognizable brands, including brands such as Zeiss, DJI, Hasselblad, Red and Rode. As a matter of fact guys, the very mic that I'm recording is being sponsored by Advanced Media as well, and Advanced Media has showrooms in Saudi Arabia and services as well. Looks like they're definitely taking the Middle East by storm. And here's the beautiful thing guys, they're taking corporate social responsibility very seriously, and they're focusing on 3 P's, that is people, planet and prosperity. Now listen guys, if you do want to find out more information regarding the statement of corporate social responsibility, check out the website, that is www.amt.tv. And here's the beautiful thing guys, they also want to be a leader and set an example and reputation as a pioneer and member of the community. And in doing so, guys, they also have an AMD scholarship with SAE Institute in Dubai, UAE. So definitely check it out. And also, guys, Advanced Media is committed to persistently developing, organizing, and hosting training workshops, seminars, and community events that educate, inform, and familiarize consumers with new equipment and the latest technological advances. So listen, guys, do one thing. If you do want to support this channel, go to the website, that is www.amt.tv, and follow the social media channels as well. All of the details are in the show notes below. Next, Startup OI is global one-tech platform for tech. It offers global high-paying tech jobs with flexibility in working time and location, global free tech events, and tech networks to connect with global like-minded engineers. A brilliant platform to listen to the tech experts in Metaverse and to grab their insights. Now listen, all you have to do is download the app Startup OI. If you're using an Android version, go to Google Store and App Store for iOS devices. Alternatively, you can also click on the show notes below to download Startup OI. Next, guys, listen, if you're into fitness, if you're into adventure, if you want to do something wild but still want to keep your health in check, there is a new podcast in town, a podcast focusing on obstacle course race in the Middle East. The podcast is called the Race Pace Podcast. So check out the Race Pace Podcast across all leading platforms. And the Race Pace Podcast is a peer-to-peer community-driven podcast where they talk all about obstacle course race in the Middle East, from Sandstorm to Spartan Race, from Tough Mudder to Desert Warrior Challenge, and also the Government Gov Games, and quite a lot more. The podcast has interviews with athletes locally and internationally to get inside scoop on how athletes prepare for obstacle course race. In the podcast, they also talk about interesting stories on why they are motivated to do obstacle course race. And that's not all. They also plan to release 7 NFTs. And these NFTs are no ordinary. These NFTs will represent every emirate in the UAE. And listen, guys, these NFTs are going to be absolutely massive. So do one thing. Go to Spotify, go to iTunes, go to any leading podcasting platform. Check out the Race Pace Podcast across all leading platforms. And finally, guys, not your keys, not your crypto. If you have dabbled with cryptocurrencies and now are seriously getting to protect your cryptocurrencies, there is no better way to protect it by using a hardware wallet. And this is where Ledger Wallet kicks in. And Ledger Wallets are hardware cryptocurrency wallets made by Ledger, a company headquartered in Paris, France. And Ledger's hardware wallets are multi-currency wallets that are used to store private keys for cryptocurrencies offline. And Ledger offers 2 hardware wallets, the Ledger Nano and Ledger Nano X wallets. They are world-class experts with extensive crypto security backgrounds. They continuously look for vulnerabilities in Ledger products in a constant effort to improve the level of security. Now, in today's world, securing these digital assets is a critical challenge, and this is where Ledger kicks in. So click the link below to buy your hardware wallet and support this podcast. It is a brilliant way to support this podcast. So what are you waiting for? The link is in the show notes below. Now, guys, since you've taken care of that, let's kickstart by looking at the global cryptocurrency market. Now, unfortunately, guys, the numbers are not looking that great. And if you look at some of the top cryptocurrencies, most of them are looking red. Ripple in particular, guys, the numbers are definitely not looking good, considering the fact that last month they had pumped up by well over 360%, and there were indications that the price of Ripple will cross the $3 mark as well. But that thing being said, guys, what I'd really recommend you to do is keep a track of the volume of stable coins. And since the last 24 hours, despite the prices going down, the volume of stable coins is increased, and that just means that people are not selling their cryptocurrencies onto fiat currencies. Rather, they are just parking it into stable coins, and that is a positive sign, because it just gives an indication regarding the investor sentiment. And there is a very high possibility, guys, that in the next coming days and weeks, these stable coins will be converted back into Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. That is what my honest opinion is. Now, regarding the global cryptocurrency market, today it is at $3.45 trillion, and since the last 24 hours, it is actually up by 6.87%. But check this out, guys. If you look at the total cryptocurrency market volume, today it is at $319.03 billion. I wouldn't be surprised if this is a new all-time high, because look, in 2023, in an average given day, the 24-hour volume used to hover somewhere between the $30 to $40 billion mark. Today, guys, the volume is almost 10 times of this, and there are quite a lot of reasons because of this, guys. The first one, according to me, is BlackRock getting into the spot Bitcoin ETF game, and they have completely changed the whole history of Bitcoin. The second one, guys, is kind of connected to them, and that is the approval of spot Bitcoin ETF. And in the episode that I released yesterday, I talked about how spot Bitcoin ETF, they have outgrown Satoshi Nakamoto's wallet so far as Bitcoin is concerned. The next one, guys, according to me, is the Bitcoin halving, because now the supply of Bitcoin is reduced, and because the supply is fixed, guys, the demand has been pumping up, isn't it? And the final news, guys, is because of President Donald Trump getting re-elected. So keeping all this thing in mind, the 24-hour volume of cryptocurrencies are definitely reaching to new all-time highs. And since the last 24 hours, the total cryptocurrency market volume is up by 114.23%. Now, unfortunately, guys, the volume in decentralized finance is not great. When you compare it, let's say, with the volume of stablecoins, the 24-hour volume, this number should have been at least 5 times of what it is, in my opinion. Today, it is only at $24.54 billion, and decentralized finance, guys, as of today, is accounting for only 7.69% of the total crypto market 24-hour volume. Now, if you look at the total value locked, it is currently at $131.08 billion, with Lido still dominating so far as total value locked is concerned. And in terms of dollar value, Lido's dominance is at $36.54 billion. Now, one matrix, guys, which gives an indication if people are using decentralized exchanges, that is the decentralized to centralized exchange dominance. And what you can do is, guys, you can go to DeFiLlama.com and you can constantly keep on checking these numbers. And according to me, guys, higher the decentralized to centralized exchange dominance means that people are using a lot of decentralized exchanges. Now, today the volume is at 35.01%. But unfortunately, guys, I do feel that out of the 35.01%, there is a very high possibility that centralized exchanges are using decentralized exchange. And I wouldn't be surprised if centralized exchange account for, let's say, 20% out of this 35.01%. Now, let's quickly run through the volume of decentralized exchanges. And unfortunately, guys, Uniswap's market cap has been overtaken by Memecoin. But so far as the 24-hour volume is concerned, they are still at number 1. And it is at $2.58 billion. Radium is at number 2nd, and the 24-hour volume is $2.13 billion. PancakeSwap, guys, is at number 3rd. Its 24-hour volume is $1.14 billion. At number 4th is Zorka, but the volume has gone down below the $1 billion mark. It is at $999 million. At number 4th is Aerodrome, and so far as dollar amount is concerned, their 24-hour volume is $517.74 million. Now look, guys, if you look at the volume of Radium, it has actually pumped up by almost $500 million since the last few days, and today it is at $2.13 billion. And in the month of November, guys, one of the reasons why the volume of Radium was pumping up, that is because of a protocol called as Pump.Fun. So what I'd really recommend you to do is, since the last 24 hours, try to look at what is going on regarding Pump.Fun. And I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of pumping is going on in Pump.Fun. And yesterday, guys, we talked about Financial Conduct Authority. They put out a stark warning regarding Pump.Fun. And because of that, guys, Pump.Fun has made it not easy for users in the United Kingdom to go and use it. But look, based on the numbers, because the volume of Radium is pumped up, I'm actually anticipating a lot of activity to be taking place in Pump.Fun. Now let's look at the volume of stable coins, because today it is almost on the verge of crossing the $300 billion mark, and today it is at a staggering $299.45 billion. And out of this $299.45 billion, guys, Tether USDT is leading the pack with $268.08 billion. These numbers are absolutely wild and crazy. Something like President Donald Trump says, like we have never seen before, and the numbers are huge, isn't it? And stablecoins, guys, as of today, is accounting for 93.87% of the total cryptocurrency market volume. Now, if you look at the volume of Circle USDC, guys, it is almost double since the last 24 hours, and today it is at $17.34 billion. FDUSD is at number 3rd, and its 24-hour volume is $12.86 billion. Now, let me quickly run through the market cap, 24-hour trading volume, and dominance between Bitcoin and Ethereum. Now, Bitcoin's market cap, guys, unfortunately has gone down, and today it is down to $1.92 trillion, and so is Ethereum's market cap as well. It is down to $446 billion, but if you look at the 24-hour trading volume, guys, it has crossed the $100 billion mark, and the 24-hour volume of Bitcoin is at $110.42 billion. Now look, guys, there is a very high possibility a lot of people are converting their Bitcoin onto stable coins, and quite a lot of people are buying a lot of Bitcoin as well, and that is one of the reasons why the volume is pumping up. And at the same time, guys, there is a very small percentage that will be selling a lot of the Bitcoin into fiat currencies, but majority of the chunk looks like it is being converted into stable coin. And that, to be honest, guys, is a positive sign, because it means in the next coming days and weeks, these stable coins will once again be converted to buy Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. That is my honest opinion. And if you look at the volume of Ethereum as well, it has actually pumped up since the last 24 hours, and the 24-hour volume is $56.88 billion. Now, if you look at the dominance of Bitcoin, guys, today it is at 55.80%, and since the last 24 hours, it has marginally pumped up, but so far as Ethereum's dominance is concerned, it has actually gone down to 12.93%. But look, guys, so far as the 24-hour volume is concerned, I'm pretty much sure a lot of activity is actually taking place in Ripple or XRP, because look, the prices have been falling down drastically. And there was also a 60-minute interview of Brad Garlinghouse, but he did not talk anything regarding XRP and their ongoing case with the SEC. And last week, guys, there was anticipation of the stablecoin that is RLUSD, and they did actually tweet that the decision has been delayed. But at this point of time, guys, there is no clarity if the stablecoin has been approved or not. But look, as if the approval of RLUSD stablecoin by Ripple was declined, I'm pretty much sure New York Department of Financial Services, they would have gone ahead and informed the public. So there is a very high possibility that they might have asked for more information. So what I'd really recommend you to do is, guys, regarding Ripple stablecoin that is RLUSD, try to follow New York Department of Financial Services Twitter account, and that is the best way to get any information regarding the stablecoin. Now, if you look at the price of XRP, guys, it is actually down to $2.26, and since the last 24 hours, it is down by 10.10%, and since the last 7 days, guys, it is actually down by 16.25%, and last week, guys, these numbers are completely different. Ripple or XRP was up by 86%. This is unfortunately the dangers of cryptocurrency world. Now, if you look at the price of Ethereum, guys, there was a very high possibility over the weekend it could have crossed the $4,000 mark. Unfortunately, guys, the prices have gone down, and the price of Ethereum or ETH is at $3,774. And since the last 24 hours, it is down by 5%, but since the last 7 days, it is up by 3.54%. Bitcoin, guys, the price is not looking good at all. It is down to $97,012, and since the last 24 hours, it is down by 1.85%. But since the last 7 days, it is up by 2.80%. Now let me do one thing, guys. Let me quickly run through the market cap of DePIN, that is decentralized physical infrastructure. Because look, guys, ever since ChatGPT was unveiled into the world, on LinkedIn I've seen everyone has become experts on artificial intelligence, and the new narrative so far as artificial intelligence and blockchain merger is concerned is all about decentralized physical infrastructure, isn't it? And I tend to share these numbers once in every 2 months or so. And to be honest, guys, for the very first time, ICP protocol is at number 1, and its market cap is at a staggering $5.70 billion. Second is Render, it is at $4.63 billion. BitTensor, guys, is at number 3rd, it is at $4.43 billion. Now, regarding BitTensor, guys, I'd really urge you guys to go ahead and check out the interview with Laura Shin, and the podcast is called as Unchained Podcast. And according to me, guys, Unchained Podcast is definitely the top 3 podcasters of all time, particularly in the cryptocurrency and blockchain space. And in that session, guys, they went in and explained what BitTensor is, and they are trying to be what Ethereum is to the blockchain world. So the future of BitTensor, at least on paper, looks promising. But look, guys, I do have a lot of questions regarding artificial intelligence merging with blockchain technology. And I often think, does artificial intelligence need blockchain technology, or does blockchain technology need artificial intelligence? Now, if you do have any expert comment on that, mention them in the comments below. Now, going back to the market cap of DePIN, that is decentralized physical infrastructure, Fetch.ai is at number 4th, and its market cap is $4.17 billion. Filecoin, guys, is at number 5th, and its market cap is at $3.83 billion. Now, regarding the Bitcoin world all the way from El Salvador, guys, there's a really interesting move, and at this point of time, I really am not sure if it is a strategic move, or is it a setback regarding the Bitcoin law. Now look, as El Salvador was one of the first countries to go ahead and make Bitcoin a legal tender, but now there is news circulating that El Salvador is reportedly nearing a deal with the IMF, that is the International Monetary Fund, and they want to secure multi-billion-dollar funding. But in order to do that, they must modify the Bitcoin law to finalize the agreement, and this particular article is actually published via Financial Times. And according to the Financial Times, guys, the government will no longer require businesses to accept Bitcoin and will have to make its use optional instead. And so far as the deal is concerned, guys, the deal could unlock $2 billion in loans from the World Bank and the Inter-American Development Bank, and this will be aimed at supporting economic reforms. Now look, guys, El Salvador did make Bitcoin a legal tender going back in 2021, and this was under President Nayib Bukele, and he did actually mandate businesses to accept Bitcoin, and that was if they had the technological capacity. However, guys, the IMF or the International Monetary Fund, they were definitely against that particular move, and they heavily criticized Nayib Bukele, and the IMF was citing economic and legal reasons for that, and at that point of time, guys, they did strongly urge the government to revoke the law. But look, guys, while President Nayib Bukele's policies have boosted his popularity, the public enthusiasm for Bitcoin remains extremely low, and so far as the adoption is concerned, it has definitely been much lower than anticipated. Now at this point of time, guys, the government is still continuing the discussions with the IMF, and they are seeking support for the economy, while at the same time softening the stance regarding the mandatory acceptance of Bitcoin. Now it's going to be really interesting to see, guys, what the final outcome to this is. Is it going to be a strategic move, or is it a setback for President Nayib Bukele in El Salvador? Now, guys, let's go ahead and discuss some interesting news regarding Amazon and Amazon shareholders, guys, which is led by the National Center for Public Policy Research. They have submitted a proposal, and they are urging the company to allocate at least 5% of the treasury into Bitcoin, and this is to counter inflation and enhance shareholder value. And this, to be honest, guys, is definitely going to be a game changer. Now, the proposal, guys, does actually critique Amazon's current asset mix, which includes cash equivalents, as well as bonds, but they are arguing that it fails to adequately protect shareholders' interest in the face of rising inflation. And the classic example they are using is that of MicroStrategy, who are right now the corporate leaders so far as Bitcoin adoption is concerned. And regarding the proposal, guys, the proposal highlights a cryptocurrency's substantial appreciation, which is actually up 134% this year, and so far as MicroStrategy is concerned, their stock prices have surged 500%, and in comparison to Amazon share prices, it is only up by 49%. Now look, guys, their shareholders are asserting that despite Bitcoin's volatility, its long-term growth potential surpasses traditional assets like bonds, and they are referring to other major companies like Tesla as well as BlackRock that have adopted Bitcoin, and they are suggesting Amazon to have a fiduciary duty to explore similar strategies. And according to National Center for Public Policy Research, guys, by diversifying their reserve, even modestly, Amazon could potentially boost long-term shareholder returns while at the same time mitigating inflationary pressures. Now the article via Financial Times, guys, also shares that Amazon's total assets amounted to $585 billion at the end of Q3 of this year, with $88 billion held in liquid instruments such as treasury notes and bonds. Now regarding this proposal, guys, the proposal actually argues that incorporating Bitcoin into the portfolio could provide superior returns and strengthen shareholder protection. Now it's going to be really interesting to see, guys, what the outcome to this is. Now regarding Microsoft, they do have a voting schedule today, so it's going to be really interesting to see what the announcement is. Now look, guys, if Microsoft goes and makes an announcement, let's say tomorrow, this would be an absolute game changer. It would also mean that Amazon will be adopting a similar strategy as well. So what I'd really recommend you to do is, guys, keep a track on the announcement by Microsoft, and I'm pretty much sure other companies will be following a similar pursuit, and there's a very high possibility Amazon could be next as well, isn't it? And look, guys, regarding buying Bitcoin and putting onto the balance sheet, since the last few months, a lot of the mining companies are also doing that, and Riot Platform, which is one of the leading Bitcoin miners, they announced a $500 million private offering of convertible senior notes, which will be due in 2030, with an option for an additional $75 million. Now look, since the last few months, a lot of mining companies and MicroStrategy, they are showing convertible notes, isn't it? So what I want to do is, I want to very briefly explain what a convertible note is, because essentially, guys, a convertible note is a type of short-term debt that actually converts its equity into future, typically during a financial round, and is commonly used in early-stage funding. And instead of repaying the loan with cash, investors actually receive shares in the company based on the terms of the note. Now, some of the key features of convertible notes, guys, are regarding principal interest, conversion event, valuation cap, discount rate, as well as maturity date. Now, regarding principal and interest, guys, the investor loans money to the startup, and this is done usually with the interest accruing over time. And regarding conversion event, guys, the note converts into equity during a future event, often when the company raises a more significant funding round. And regarding valuation cap, this sets a maximum valuation at which the notes converts, thereby protecting early investors if the company's valuation skyrockets. And regarding discount rates, guys, investors may receive discount. Example, let's say 20% of the price of shares when the note converts. And finally, guys, regarding maturity dates, if let's say the company or startup doesn't raise additional funds by a specific date, these notes may convert into equity at a predetermined rate or require payments. So look, since the last few months, I'm seeing quite a lot of companies utilizing convertible notes, and they are buying Bitcoin, isn't it? So I thought, let me go ahead and give out some basic level information regarding convertible notes. Now going back to the news regarding Riot Platform, guys, the proceeds of the $500 million private offering convertible notes will be used to acquire more Bitcoin and for general corporate purposes. And the notes, guys, convertible into cash or shares, will be offered to qualified institutional buyers. Now Riot, guys, they are one of the leaders of as Bitcoin mining and digital infrastructure is concerned, and they are currently operating in Texas, along with Kentucky and Colorado as well. Now regarding the offering, it is subject to market conditions and may not be completed as planned as well. Now if you do need official information regarding this, guys, it is in the website of Riot Platform, and the link to that is in the show notes below. Now guys, let's go ahead and discuss some news regarding meme coins. And Pepe Coin, they have reached a new milestone and they have surpassed $11 billion market cap, overtaking Uniswap as well as Litecoin. Now the surge in activity is partly driven by institutional interest, with whales increasing the Pepe holdings by $1.14 billion over the weekend. Now this did actually happen when the price of Bitcoin crossed the $100,000 mark, isn't it? And because of that, it did fuel optimism in the cryptocurrency market space. And Pepe did actually see a drastic increase in the last 24 hours. But that thing being said, guys, I'm pretty much sure it'll be dumping pretty soon as well. Now regarding Pepe Coin, guys, they were launched in April of 2023, but the meme coin has gained significant attention, and this is primarily driven by whale activity and increased accessibility to platforms like MoonPay, and it has seen a 1,900% year-to-date gain, so definitely interesting news. So these were the newscasts on the cryptocurrency blockchain world. Now let's look at two news from Dubai, UAE and the Middle East. And the first newscast is definitely a massive news, and BitOasis, they have received full crypto license in Dubai. So let me go ahead and give out more information regarding this, because BitOasis, guys, they are a leading virtual asset broker dealer, and they received a fully virtual asset service provider license, and this awesome Dubai's VARA, that is Virtual Asset Regulatory Authority. Now this license, guys, follows BitOasis fulfilling all required regulatory conditions and requirement, and BitOasis will begin operations under its new license immediately. Now this particular step is a final step in VARA's licensing procedure for BitOasis, and it signifies a pivotal moment in the company's journey. Now VARA, guys, is noted as the world's first dedicated virtual asset regulator, and regarding BitOasis, they were one of the first platforms to secure provisional operating permit from VARA in 2022, so it has taken almost 2 years to go ahead and complete this. And Nola Dudin, who's the co-founder and CEO of BitOasis, has emphasized the company's commitment to regulatory compliance, integrity and accountability, and this new license, guys, will enable BitOasis to enhance service for retail as well as institutional and qualified investors. Now BitOasis, they plan to secure further regulatory approval to expand its product portfolio, and they aim to lead the virtual asset revolution in the MENA region, because they've been in operation since a very long time, and the company, guys, will continue working closely with regulators, public sectors, stakeholders and its community as well. And BitOasis is focused on building trust in virtual assets and the digital economy, and BitOasis, guys, supports secure buying, holding and selling over 70 virtual assets. And as I mentioned earlier, guys, BitOasis is kind of like one of the oldest cryptocurrency exchanges from Dubai, and they were founded in 2016, and their headquarters in Dubai as well. And BitOasis, they serve in over 15 countries in the MENA region, and since the launch, guys, the platform has processed over $6.6 billion in trading volumes, and BitOasis now is licensed under Dubai's VARA as well as the Central Bank of Bahrain. And BitOasis, they do remain committed to enhancing its product offering and adapting to the evolving needs of their clients. So definitely brilliant news. Now the second newscast is another positive news, and the United Arab Emirates AI office, they are partnered with UiPath, and they want to advance the UAE's national AI strategy objectives. Now, this particular collaboration, guys, focuses on developing AI-powered automation solutions across government entities using AI-powered agentic automation approach. And this initiative will equip UAE's talent with essential AI and automation skills. And this particular partnership definitely supports the UAE's goal to become a global leader in AI by 2031. And His Excellency Omar Sultan Al Ulama, who is the Minister of State for Artificial Intelligence, met with UiPath CEO Daniel Dansh to mark the collaboration, and Dr. Abdul Rahman Al Mahmood emphasized the UAE's government's dedication to fostering partnership with advanced technological firms. And AI-powered automation, guys, will enhance government services and prepare the workforce for AI-dependent roles, and this partnership will create new businesses for citizens and businesses in line with UAE's digital economic goals. And UiPath will introduce an AI and automation training program for up to 100 government employees or students, and coders participating in the national program for coders will also acquire automation skills using UiPath's business automation program, and participants will have the opportunity to obtain UiPath certified credential, which is done through the UiPath Academy. And a roadmap will be developed to help government-backed companies and startups leverage AI and automation technology. Definitely positive news for United Arab Emirates, isn't it? And because of this news, pilot projects will explore embedding AI-powered automation into public-facing government services, and this partnership aims to increase operational efficiency across government entities. And UiPath will conduct workshops to raise awareness about the benefits of AI-powered automation. And UiPath also develops AI technology that enhances human intelligence and drives smarter decision-making. And UiPath emphasizes security, accuracy, and resilience in its automation solution. And UiPath's vision promotes seamless integration of robots, humans, and AI models for smart autonomous operations. So definitely brilliant and great news. So these were the newscasts on the cryptocurrency, blockchain, and artificial intelligence world from Blockchain DXB. In case if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating, and share the word across. Now for the next few minutes is going to be an Ask Me Anything series, where your listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. So let's get started with the Ask Me Anything series. Hey everyone, it's George from Blockchain DXB listening to the Ask Me Anything series, where your listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. I have a question by Justin who asks, with trading volumes reaching record highs, do you believe this signals long-term market growth or just short-term speculative activity? Now I really cannot answer this, Justin, to be completely honest. Now, the only reason why the volumes are ridiculously going high is because President Donald Trump is re-elected, and thankfully he is now an advocate of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. Apart from that, the only reason why the volume is high because the spot Bitcoin ETF got approved earlier this year, and there was also Bitcoin halving. So it looks like it is a merger of all of these three things, and looks like because of these news, a lot of them are putting Bitcoin into the balance sheet. And it's only because of that, a lot of trading activity is going on, isn't it? Now, regarding your question, record high trading volumes can actually mean different things. Now, from a long-term market growth, I do feel if the trading surge comes from institutional investors, growing adoption of new market participants entering into the space, it could actually signal long-term market growth. And I talked about how Microsoft is going to be making a decision today, and along with that, Amazon is also considering Bitcoin, and that is definitely driving a lot of interest, isn't it? But regarding short-term, I do feel if the volume spike is driven by hyper on specific tokens like Pepecoin, as I mentioned today, or even extreme market conditions, because if we look at the market condition right now, it is still looking at great. It could also be speculative, and historically in the month of December, the prices tend to reach a new all-time high, but in January is when the prices do tend to go down. And look, I've had the history of working in the credit card field, and historically in December, people get a lot of bonuses, they get a lot of incentives, and because of vacations and Christmas season coming up, a lot of spending does actually take place in December. So what happens in January? People have to go out and pay the credit cards, and there is a very high possibility the prices could actually be going down. So it is kind of like a mix of both, to be honest, Justin. Momentum-driven speculation in the short term, but promising signals for long-term growth if the adoption continues. So it's going to be really interesting to see what happens to the price of Bitcoin, particularly in the first and second week of January. But look, I do feel that things are definitely looking great, and that is one of the reasons why we need to look at the volume of stable coins. and the volume of stablecoins is something that we've never seen before. But definitely really good question. And that's about all, guys, on the Ask Me Anything series on Blockchain DXB. In case if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating, and share the word across. Remember, Monday to Thursdays, 8 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. we have Crypto with Coffee podcast, where we cover top news and information pertaining to the price of cryptocurrencies, some major breaking news, occasionally short and sweet news as well, news that has an impact in the cryptocurrency world. The other two news and information is related to Dubai, UAE and the Middle East, from the cryptocurrency, blockchain and now artificial intelligence world as well. And what you're listening to right now is the Ask Me Anything series, where your listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, Metaverse. So thanks so much for listening, guys, and have a nice one. Bye-bye.